everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is a review of Vanderpump Rules Season 11, Episode 1, I would like to say sorry for the wait. I actually forgot I scheduled the live at 3. So when I got back, I was like, oh my God, the live. So I apologize, you guys. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Dun, dun, dun. So let's get into it. So, first off, I would have to say, I felt the first episode was flat. And I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. I thought it was a bit flat. I wasn't really invested in any of the, characters. I wasn't invested in any of the storylines. And I think the biggest problem is that they spent too much time sort of recapping and explaining headlines. Like every conversation they had, it was like, so when last time I was on this couch and Sandoval said this, and oh, I'm making my own latte because no one's ever made that for me before, which was like a nod to like what Tom had said to Ariana about making her lattes. Like it was too like tongue in cheek. Every single scene was pretty much just harking to an article or harking to a pre-described storyline, if you know what I mean. None of it was just these people actually living their lives, which is what I would have preferred to see. Just them living and seeing like, what does the aftermath look like? What does their new normal look like? Rather than them sort of answering to every blog post or article, like just live. I don't know if that's because it just feels very scripted now. Like everything just seemed very pre-planned, pre-scripted, pre-plotted, pre-produced. It wasn't any authenticity. I didn't feel like these people were actually having real conversations or real events or real relationships. It all just seemed very pre-described, if that makes sense. Also, I felt like, you know what it is? I'm not invested anymore. Like, this might sound harsh, but I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about what's going on with these people. So, I don't know. So, hopefully, that will change. Hopefully, as the season goes on, we will start to care more and we will be more invested. I will say that the production value and the quality was two of the best parts of the episode. If you notice, the production quality is way up. It's giving Miami on Peacock, it's giving Bling, Bling Empire. I feel like the production quality, it's giving Selling Sunset is way up. I don't know if that's because they have a bigger budget now after Scandival, and also like more companies, like higher quality companies seem like they want to partner with them now. Like they went to that really ritzy place to get the massages, where before I feel like they used to go to like, the bodega down the street. No offense to that, but you get what I'm saying. So the production quality seemed to be up way more. So I felt like that was good. But I kind of feel like this might be the last season because I'm not really sure where the series can go from here. And we had talked about this a couple of seasons ago, where it seemed like season 10 was going to be the last season until Scandival hit. Because where can these lives go? Where can these stories go? I feel like everybody on this cast, their story is kind of wrapped up within the premise of what Vanderpump Rules is. If we give some people some spin-offs, sure, maybe like a young mommy spin-off for like a Lala and Sheena, what does it look like being young moms raising their 2 daughters and all of that stuff? Maybe something like that, or I don't know. But I feel like each character on the show has aged out of the show, if that makes sense. But let's break it down a little bit more. And I really put together some of my predictions, and I'm going to go through each person and talk about what I think is really going on with them, and then I'll give predictions for the season as well. So let's start with Katie. So, Katie girl, as you guys may or may not know, there is going to be a storyline that Katie and Tom Schwartz are hooking up with the same girl. And it's sort of like the two exes are battling it out to see who's going to get the same girl. I forget what her name is. I think she's either like a bartender or a server at one of the restaurants, but both Katie and Tom Schwartz is hooking up with her. And I'm kind of like, is this the new Kyle Morgan Mauricio situation? Like, does every single series now has to have a woman who is either divorced or going through a separation, and then all of a sudden they're having like a bisexual lesbian awakening? Like, what? It's giving heavily produced storyline. It's giving Kyle and Morgan. It's just like, stop. Number one, it's not my place to, speculate on anybody's sexuality, but I'm kind of just like, it seems a little exploitative that Katie has to be the one who takes on the bisexual role on the show, because I'm not buying this for a second. All of a sudden, Katie is now bisexual, and all of a sudden now her and Tom are hooking up with the same exact girl. It's giving PR relationship. And I'm going to also tell you who's in another PR relationship, and I'm going to break that down when I get to it a little bit. But there's someone who came out with a very, very PR relationship today, but we'll get into that. But it's just bizarre to me that these people really don't have anything else to talk about. And all of a sudden now Katie is into women, but not just into women. She's into the same woman that her ex-husband, Tom Schwartz, is in. And they are going to see Katie makes some comment, may the best man win. And it's just like, I want more for Katie. Do you know what I mean? Like, they used to drag Katie for her quote weight, when to me, Katie has never been overweight. She's been a normal, healthy person. Just because she doesn't have that stick figure Ozempic look doesn't mean that she's overweight. They've dogged Katie out for her weight for years. Remember, James was like, oh, we're not working on our summer bodies. Are you pregnant? And all this stuff, and call it her fat. So disgusting, so gross. They've dogged her out for her body over years. She was Tequila Katie, when the truth was she was being cheated on, disrespected, and gaslit by Tom Schwartz, when Katie was really just in a very unhealthy relationship. Granted, she participated in that unhealthy relationship. Of course she did, but she was also a victim of that relationship too. You see what I'm saying? But I always wanted it to be Tequila Katie. She's rage texting. Well, maybe she's rage texting her boyfriend of 6 years because he's cheating on her, and everybody seems to think that's okay. Katie is literally the only person who's been cheated on, and people literally act like nothing happened. Nobody ever talks about Tom Schwartz cheating on Katie, and he cheated on her when they were actually legally married. And people are just like, oh, that's just Schwartz. There was zero empathy for Katie when she was cheated on, and she was an actual wife. You see? So I just want better for Katie. I get it. She may not be the most likable person in the world. I actually do like her. I think she's funny. I think that she speaks up for herself, but she's also an acquired taste. You might like Katie, you might not like her, but I want better for her. Why does she have to get the, 40, and I don't know how old she is, let's say 35 to 40-ish, divorced. Now all of a sudden she's bi? Like, can we stop? We had enough with Kyle. We had enough with Morgan. That relationship blew up in their faces. Anyway, but also with Katie, I think there's going to be Katie versus Ariana this season as well. And I don't think that something about her is ever going to open. I mean, is it open now? I don't think so. They can blame permits, they can blame zoning, whatever the case is. This is what I think. I think that Katie and Ariana really aren't that close of true friends. I think they went into business only by proxy because at the time their boyfriends/husbands were in business. But I don't think that they have a strong enough relationship themselves to make it work. And I don't think that Ariana is committed enough to something about her now that she has, Dancing with the Stars. She's Roxy on Broadway. On Chicago, she has all of these brand deals. She has the Lifetime movie. She has she's blown up. She's on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. I just don't think that Ariana is really checking for something about her now that her status has changed. Whereas I think it really has always been Katie's baby and Katie's ideas and Katie's dream. I don't know what their business plan looks like. I don't know if Katie can do it on her own. I don't know if the finances are there. I don't know. But I predicted this before. I was like, something about her is doomed. I don't really see it ever getting off the ground. So I don't really see that happening. And I think that there's going to be the disconnect between them as well. So that's what I kind of think is going on with Katie. I think she's going to be funny this season. I think she's going to be cool, but I'm not buying that she's all of a sudden a, midlife bisexual who's interested in the same woman as Tom Schwartz. I think that is all storyline. I think that is fake. And I think it's really trying way too hard. And Katie, you deserve better. You really do. Okay, let's move on to Ariana. So oh, girl. Okay. So when we get to Ariana, I think that it's going to be also Lala versus Ariana during this season because there isn't really a true click in the sense of conflict on the show, if you know what I mean. Like we used to have like Stassi versus Kristen or, something like that. Whereas there's not really that dynamic on the show anymore, which is again why I think it might be the last season, because with the current cast, sure, I think it's going to be like Katie and Ariana having a falling out over something about her and they're not really good friends, but it's not that true conflict that we think about when we think about dynamics on a TV show. You know what I mean? We don't really have that. We would have had it if Rachel had come back. Then it would have been Rachel versus Ariana versus the group. That would have been a true conflict of two different camps. So I think that in order to create that conflict, I think that production is manufacturing it. And the way that they're going to manufacture it, it's going to be Lala versus Ariana. That's why we're getting that clip where Lala's like, she's the only person on earth who's got cheated on and now became a god, and all of that stuff going on. I think that is 100% production. When it comes to pitting the two of them against each other, I think it's production. Do I think that's actually how Lala feels? Yes, 100%. And I actually think she's correct. And the reason why I think Lala feels that way is a couple of things. Number one, she was cheated on in a horrible way. Granted, sure, she was the mistress, the side chick, but she's still a human being. And she was still villainized for it, and she actually had a child. And as a person who does not have children, I can still be honest with that there is a difference between being a person without a child leaving a relationship versus someone with a child and leaving a relationship. And like her or not, Lala does have a child with Randall. And what Randall did knocks what Tom Sandoval did out of the park. Tom Sandoval just hooked up with Rachel. And like that's really all he did. Like, I'm just going to call a thing a thing. Tom Sandoval hooked up with Rachel. Okay, that sucks. Got it. Randall has multiple lawsuits. He is running allegedly running fraud schemes, allegedly is abusing multiple people out here. There might be minors. Like there's layers to this where Lala literally had to flee her home with her child. And still the only thing people can say Lala is, oh, you're a home wrecking whore and all this other stuff. So I understand where Lala is coming from. She's like, look, maybe I was the side chick, but so was Ariana. Tom was in a full relationship. And she's like, I had to flee my home with my child. And I still got it wrecked from everybody. No support. Tom Schwartz is out here going to pickleball with this guy and everybody else is trying to blame me for it. Ariana is in a $2-3 million house with a man that she stopped having sex with a year ago and was in a very fake relationship in, which she even admitted herself that they were just going through the motions and that he would coach her on what to say. She said it herself at the reunion. And she still gets to live in her cozy $3 million home, as a single woman with no children. And if we're just being honest as human beings, I'm on Lala's side with this. And I don't even have children. I would feel some type of way. So all of a sudden, this one chick who was pretty much just like me, she's up to this like queen goddess standard, but I had to flee my home from my, fiance who has lawsuits and was like allegedly abusing people and defrauding people. I had to flee my home with my child, but yet I'm still only looked at as like a homewrecker. I would feel the same way. So I do think that where Lala stands is understandable. And I totally get how she feels about that. Doesn't mean she's jealous of Ariana. Doesn't mean she doesn't like Ariana. I think what she's saying is, Ariana, like, humble yourself a little bit. Like, you got cheated on. We get it. To be honest with you, the majority of people in this world have been cheated on or will be cheated on at some point. That's why so many people identified with Ariana. The mass difference, why Ariana got the reaction she got, is because people identified with Ariana in a way where they're like, I've been long suffering and I've been scorned and blah, blah, blah. Where when it comes to Lala is beautiful. She has a certain type of personality. She was with Randall, who had all this money and this life and this fame. So I think that when it happened to Lala, people were like, well, you got what you got, blah, blah, blah. And because they're jealous. When beautiful people, because Lala is a beautiful woman, I don't care what anybody says, when beautiful people are, when other people think they have a certain type of come up or they're in a certain situation where they have money or fame, when they fall from grace, the majority of people who aren't secure in themselves revel in it. They love to see a takedown. But somebody that they identify with goes through something, they want to rally them, like, oh, Ariana, like the scorned woman of America, because nobody, and by nobody, I mean like the collective consciousness, not us, because we are critical thinkers who are secure in ourselves. So when people who we perceive as non-threats have something happen to them that we identify with, we tend to hero worship them because we identify with them. But people that we view as threats, aka people who we think are beautiful or rich or famous or gold diggers or whatever you want to call it, when they go through a certain type of trauma, we revel in their downfall because it makes us feel better about ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So I agree with what Lala is saying on that. But I do think the reason why that, and let me go to Lala now. And the reason why I think that Lala called Rachel wasn't because she wanted to, but I think because production told her to. And Lala was just doing what she was told, and she wants to keep her job, and wants to keep her job. Okay, hey, Miss T, what's up? She goes, is Lala being hypocritical? She did not want anybody to talk to Randall. Is it okay for her to talk to Rachel? Yes, and I'll break down why that is, in my opinion. It's not hypocritical because it's apples to oranges. If Lala reached out to Tom Sandoval, then yes, it would be apples to apples. But she reached out to Rachel. If that would be the same as if Ariana reached out to one of Randall's side pieces. Do you see? Because in this situation, if we're saying Lala is Ariana, then Randall is Tom Sandoval, and Randall's mistress would be Rachel. Also, I think in my opinion, I think that the only reason why Lala reached out to Rachel was because production told her to. It was a very scripted call. It was very, like, it seemed to me, and it was also during that time when Rachel it wasn't sure if she was going to come back or not come back. And I think production wanted her to come back, but they wanted her to have an ally. That's why Lala kept saying, oh, at the reunion when she said, well, if I go against Tom, then I won't have anyone. I think production is the one who picked up on her saying that, said, hey, Lala, you've been called a homewrecker. You've been called all of these things. Like, I bet you could help her out. Why don't you be the one to reach out the olive branch? Because you also notice when they were at their little girls' dinner, when Lala brings up contacting Rachel, Katie's response was so like, I don't know what the word is. Like, she already knew it. Like, oh, and she had the little like, they reached out to Rachel. I think Katie's response would have been way bigger and way different. So I'm not mad at Lala for doing that because number one, she wants to keep that. She wants to keep that check. And if production is telling her to call Rachel to see if Rachel can get back on the show and start filming, she's going to do her job because she wants to keep her check. And number two, it's not the same because she didn't reach out to Sandoval. She reached out to Rachel. So I don't think that's hypocritical. Let's see. What else? And that's a really great question, Miss T. Thank you for holding me down. And what else is going on? Okay, so let's move on to, I'm going to get to Sandoval in a second. I'll get to him. All right, James Kennedy. Boring. Ugh, boring. I don't really know what his role is going to be on the show. You know, it's sort of like him and Schwartz now are really good friends, but like they weren't ever good friends like that. He was always up Sandoval's butt. And now all of a sudden, Schwartz is trying to be up James's butt because he doesn't want to continuously get blowback from being friends with Sandoval. So that's not a really organic bromance. It seems like both of them are just like, I would actually really rather be with Sandoval right now, but because I can't, I'll just hang out with you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I agree, Miss D. James is there for the comic relief. He is funny. He is funny. Chocolate Chunks. Hey, Chocolate Chunks. Thank you for being a channel member. Says, get Allie off my screen. I could not agree with you more, Chocolate Chunks. I don't know why Allie is there. She is boring to me. She's like a robot. I still wonder if she's a real person or is she like an AI character? Like, I need to know. I'm confused and concerned about what's going on there. So yeah, I agree. Allie is very weird. Very, very, very weird to me. Very, very weird. I agree. Well, now let's go to, okay, so James. Yeah, James is definitely there for comic relief. And then I also think James is kind of like, again, I feel like everybody on the show, their time is just up. Like James is sober now and he's, you know, he has a good DJ career. He's dating, you know, AI robot Allie. They bought their house near the airport. Like, okay, you know, like I don't really know where we're going with him and like the fake bromance with Schwartz when both of them really just want to be with Tom Sandoval. So we'll see how that plays into everything. Now let's go to Schwartz. Schwartz, again, why are we invested in Schwartz? You know, like, why are we caring about what happens to him? I do feel bad for him about what's going on with his family when he talks about his brother being sick and, you know, having a lot of family problems with like his parents. And I think his dad was either really sick too and talking all about that stuff. But what is Schwartz's storyline or arc or reason to care? And I'm not buying this whole him and Katie are hooking up with the same person. And this whole, and then this other person, you know, crazy Joe, Kristen's crazy friend Joe, I don't care about that either. Joe Winberg, I think her name is. She's going to make her appearance on the show. Okay, and she's just one of their weird friends who was, you know, couch surfing and hooking up with Tom Schwartz. Okay, why would I care about that either? You know, she was in on the whole Scandival thing because she was like double dating with Tom Sandoval and Rachel. She was a part of that, but like, again, I don't really care. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? It is what it is. And he's still making excuses and not taking any accountability. So Sandoval, man, like, you know, you really threw me under the bus and you used me and blah, blah, blah. And like, I can't be associated with them anymore. It's just like, he's still not saying, I made all of these choices. I chose to pretend to be with Rachel and not give a damn about Katie's feelings and clown Katie in front of the group. You know, I chose to lie for him, you know, to Ariana and the whole group. I chose to lie to the cameras, to the world, to, you know, all of it. He's still not taking accountability for what he chose to do. Tom Sandoval can't make you do anything. These are all the decisions you made, you know? So, yeah. Sorry, one second. Yeah. So, yeah. So these are all the decisions that he made, but yet he's still not taking accountability. And like, I don't really want to watch him on my screens. He's basically like a wet noodle. You know, he looks like he smells weird and he looks just weird to me. He's just like a wet noodle, like a wet blanket. And like, I don't want to watch that on my screen. Like, what is his function? If that makes any sense. And then Sheena, oh, Sheena boo boo. I actually think of all the people on the show. I'm not talking about Lala per se. I'm not including her in the Randall situation. But the real victim in the whole Scandival thing, to be honest with you, was Sheena. Because I get it, Ariana, he cheated on you, but girl, enough. Sheena got a whole court case. Sheena had to hire lawyers. She had to go to court. She had a whole restraining order against her. Sheena lost half of her body mass with her stress. Sheena was the real victim of Scandival because she was riding for her little friend Rachel. And then she had to ride for her friend Ariana. But yet she had to go all the way to, you know, to court. And she caught a case over this stuff. Sheena is the real victim, to be honest with you. The only thing that happened to Ariana was that she got a glow up. She has way more money now, way more opportunities. You know, it's like if a guy who doesn't want to be with you cheats on you and the result is what happened to Ariana, then sign me the hell up. You know, if that's what's going to happen, if you're dating a deadbeat guy that was already seeing someone when you got with him and you're not happy and him cheating on you results in TV deals and book deals and movies and Broadway deals and brand deals, sign me all the way the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Like, please. The true victim in this was Sheena. She really was. She was being loyal to a fault to everybody. She needs to get out of that people-pleasing behavior. And then that's why people say, oh, she's a flip-flopper. Oh, she's this, she's that. It's not that so much that Sheena is a flip-flopper. She's very insecure and she's scared of not being accepted. And she's scared of being iced out of the group because she doesn't feel like she's good enough. And so she people pleases. But when you try to please everyone, that's when people think that you're two-faced and they think you're a flip-flopper because you can't please everyone. So learn how to please yourself. You know what I mean? I unfortunately predict there will be problems with her so-called marriage to Brock because I don't care what anybody says. Brock married her for a green card and he married her because he thought she had money and he married her to be on the show. Anytime you marry a fan, you're going to have a fandom marriage because Brock was a fan of the show. They try and lie and say they met at a music festival, but the problem with the lie is you got to keep it up because it was told that Brock was watching the show from Australia or wherever the hell he's from, the Netherlands. I don't know where he's from, wherever he's from. He was watching the show and he slid into Sheena's DMs. He was a fan of the show and he wanted to be on the show. He knew Sheena was the weakest link and that's how he got with her. So if you marry a fan, you're going to get what you get. Okay? He was a fan of the show. And then when he got with her, he was doing like his apps and his bodybuilding. And then she became, quote, an investor. So she was basically giving him money to fund his stuff. And then they got married, and then so he get the green card to stay. Like, girl, if you marry a fan, good luck with that. So I do think that Sheena's gonna be in for a wild one with him. And I think that's why she seems very, and she says it, she's on Zoloft and she's depressed and she has OCD, and like, is Brock gonna cheat with Lala and all this other stuff going on. I personally think Brock gives Sheena hell. I think he is a nightmare. That is my gut feeling. The way he spoke about Sheena's mother when the baby was born, he called her an employee. And I'm like, Brock, you don't even pay for the children you already have. You got a DV charge for, assaulting their mother, and you fled the country because you didn't want to pay for the children you already have. So you don't pay for your children, but yet you want to call Sheena's mother, who is taking care of your daughter, an employee? And who's paying her? Not you, Sheena. So technically she'd be Sheena's employee because you ain't paying anybody. Sheena's paying you. Sheena's paying you. And remember season 9, I think it was, either season 8 or season 9, when Brock and Sheena were so sketchy and they were trying to get Randall to pay for their big on-camera engagement party, and Lala called them out and was like, you want Randall to set everything up, but you didn't give us a credit card. And then they hijacked and Rachel's engagement party and get engaged there, but then they ended up not doing it because it was going to be so distasteful. And they got in this huge fight. Remember that? And it all came out, and how Sheena was giving him money. Like, I think Brock gives her hell behind the scenes. That's why she lost all that weight, and she's popping all these pills, and she's all over the place. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Like, if you need medicine, take your medicine. If you need help, get the help. I don't mean it in that type of way. I'm saying that when you are married to someone who is stressing you the hell out, you're going to see the symptoms of that stress. Do I think a lot of the stress came from the restraining order? Yes. Do I think that's the only cause of Sheena's stress? No. I think Brock gives her hell. I don't think he really helps that much. I think that I don't know. She just seems very on edge. The fact that she literally said on camera, one of the reasons why she's taking Zoloft is that she's worried that Brock is going to cheat on her with Lala. She said that on the show. That right there shows you where she is at in her marriage with him. And I don't know. He just seems, I think he puts on a good front. But I think, like any snake, they always shed their skin. And like any person who's wearing a mask, it always slips. I think he gives her hell. And I think they're going to have a lot of problems in their marriage. That's just what I think. What else is going on, you guys? Oh, let's talk about Tom Sandoval. So apparently Tom Sandoval has a new girlfriend. But is this real, or is this another PR relationship? Let's dive right on in. So this is according to BravoTV.com. It says Tom Sandoval shares a kiss with a new flame. Did Tom just share major news about his love life? Get the details. So Tom Sandoval's love life has been a frequent topic of conversation since news broke in 2023 that his relationship with Ariana Madix had come to an end after 9 years of dating. The Vanderpump Rules cast member has sparked some dating rumors following his split, but did he just launch a new relationship on his Instagram stories? Find out who Tom Sandoval has been cozying up to as of late and see photos of the two together. So, who is he dating? Just a day after season 11 premiered on January 30th, Sandoval spent some time at the bar he co-owns with Tom Schwartz, aka Schwartz and Sandy's. Sandoval posted a video on his Instagram stories featuring him dancing with a few friends at the bar while music played along in the background. He tagged model Victoria Lee Robinson in the post, though there were others featured in the video as well. However, at the end of the story, Victoria embraces Sandoval and she gives him a kiss on the cheek. Victoria also posted a photo of her sitting side by side with Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras frontman on her page. She is wearing a striped short sleeve t-shirt in the photo, while Sandoval has on a dark tee and a multicolored beaded necklace. Victoria tagged Sandoval in the story, and Sandoval reposted the photos on his own Instagram page. Sandoval has yet to publicly share whether the two are an item or not. So he says he's ready for a relationship. Shortly before Sandoval shared some PDA with Victoria, he appeared on the Viall Files podcast to discuss all things Vanderpump Rules. In addition to talking about season 11, Sandoval and fellow guest Tom Schwartz opened up about the latest in their respective dating lives. While Schwartz noted that he doesn't want Tom Sandoval to set him up, Sandoval revealed that he is open to finding love. Am I ready to protect somebody's heart? Sandoval said on the cast. Is the thing. I think this is completely fake. And I'm going to tell you why. So this chick, Victoria Lee Robinson, she's a model and she used to date Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, the reason why I think this is a PR relationship is a couple of things. Number one, Leonardo DiCaprio is notorious for having PR relationships. So anybody that he's been attached to, like Leonardo DiCaprio is big on PR relationships. Bradley Cooper is also huge on PR relationships. And who else? Like those kind of like rat packy Hollywood guys, huge on it. Huge. So anybody who's been linked to Leonardo DiCaprio, you can pretty much guarantee has been a team, and by team, I mean like their PR team, their agents team setups. So if she dated him back in 2016, then she's clearly game for these type of come up relationships. You see what I'm saying? So to me, that's a red flag. Maybe it's real, I don't know. Maybe they met somewhere, I don't know. But it's just a red flag to me that she has been linked to Leonardo DiCaprio. Because Leonardo DiCaprio also used to date Gigi Hadid. And Gigi Hadid is now dating Bradley Cooper, right? And they go public all of a sudden now that it's award season, Oscar season. These type of celebrity forever bachelors, also George Clooney used to have a lot of those too. These sort of like forever bachelor guys, until they get like in their 60s, like a George Clooney finally marry somebody or whatever. But these sort of like forever bachelor A-list guys, anytime they have a new project coming out or anytime they have like award season, just in the society we live in, conservative or liberal or not, just the undercurrent of our consciousness as a light when they are in a relationship or a marriage. It's just how it is. So that's why usually when these guys, also Chris Evans used to be like that too, but then all of a sudden he married this really, really young girl. But that's for a whole nother episode. But if you just do a little bit of a digging, all of those types of guys, they're usually always single until they have a project or award season. I called it with Kyle and Morgan. I'm calling it with this. Tom, even in this photo, doesn't even look like he believes it. Look at his face. He doesn't even look like he believes it. I think this is reputation rehab. I think that Tom Sandoval probably knows this might be the last season of Vanderpump Rules or pretty much coming up upon that. He wants more gigs. He wants to, rehab his reputation. He went on the Viall Files, and we'll do a breakdown of his whole interview on that. But he went on the Viall Files just being a big weirdo and, all of that stuff, still blaming everybody but himself for his situation. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does sort of want to rehab his reputation. And then this model chick, I mean, if it was 2016, which at this point was 7 years ago, she dated Leonardo DiCaprio, we haven't heard anything from her since. I'm pretty sure she probably wants a bump back into the spotlight because now we're talking about her. Now we know who she is. Like, we wouldn't know who this person was if it was not for her tagging and talking about him in the photos. So I think this is PR. Are they smashing? Yeah, maybe because it's fun. But I don't think that they met organically and started a relationship. I think it was one of those things where her agents probably wanted to see if they could get her back in the spotlight since she's been out of it for 7 years. And I think that he wanted to be seen within a quote healthy relationship with a cool girl and, you know, rehab his reputation, because I bet he wants to get into acting more. I bet he wants to get into more music, maybe more spinoffs and all of that stuff. And he knows he needs to change his reputation in order to have that happen. So am I buying this relationship? No, because it doesn't look real. He looks like uncomfortable. She looks uncomfortable. Also, timing. Is it a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in conspiracy. Go grab a t-shirt down below. Also, I don't think it's a coincidence that they choose to go public and tag each other the day of the premiere of the first episode of season 11. You know, I don't think that relationship timelines are that, you know, convenient that all of a sudden they decided to go public literally the day of their premiere. Usually that's very like timing, that's marketing, that's advertising, you know? So, do I believe that? So, do I believe it? No. I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. You know, do you think he's in a real relationship with this woman? She's beautiful. I will give her that. She's gorgeous. You know, she really is. And hey, if you could hook up with Leonardo DiCaprio, I would. I would hook up with Leonardo DiCaprio, Bradley Cooper, Chris Evans. Like, yeah. I mean, don't tell my partner, but yeah, I totally would. So, girl, get it. I would not hook up with Tom Sandoval, but if she hasn't worked in 7 years, she might have to do what she has to do. You see what I'm saying? So she might have to do what she has to do. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. So with that, let's take some of your candy cane questions and comments. And I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat with me. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. And then I did watch Beverly Hills, and I do want to do a recap of Beverly Hills because I have some good stuff I want to talk about with that. And too. But let's take some of your candy canes questions and comments. Hey, Chocolate Chunks. Chocolate Chunk says, oh, can you guys see it? Wait 1 second. Hey, Natoski. Chocolate Chunk says, hey. Hey, Tay Tay, how are you, sweetheart? Natoski says, did you listen to Tom and Tom on Nick Vile? Embarrassing. Sandoval was like an hour late. Clearly, he's no longer sober. And Schwartz is back supporting him at his detriment. See, that's the thing. Schwartz has always been supporting Tom. Even when he was on Watch What Happens Live, he was like, go give him a hug. The whole thing with him saying like he wants to distance himself, that was nothing but PR. You know, that was nothing but a stunt. It was just reputation rehab until they were able to get into the clear for their restaurant. Chocolate Chunk says Ariana got humbled and now she's playing fake nice with the other girls, but I don't think she really likes any of them, especially not Katie or Lala. Chocolate Chunk, she took the words out of my mouth. I agree 100%. Lala has never liked any of these, not Lala, I'm sorry. Ariana has never liked any of these other girls, and she's always had a stink attitude like she was better and cooler than them. Girl, bye. And then she tried to blame it all on Tom Schwartz. Well, I wanted to be close to Katie, but like, or Sandoval, you know, but like Tom Sandoval wouldn't let me. No, you're your own person. You didn't want to be close to Katie because you weren't really into Katie like that. You sure as hell never liked Lala. And she did get humbled because she knew that all the girls on the show would rally against her. And I think that the people on the show, they're going to have a kumbaya spiritual moment the way they always do on the show when they want to sort of get over something. They're going to have some sort of like spiritual retreat. Everyone's going to forgive Tom Sandoval. And I think that they're going to hold Ariana more to task, her more feet to the fire. Tay says, shame, I don't trust Schwartz or Sandoval. Hey, Adam, you want to share, boo-boo?
Yeah, I've literally just joined. It's been crazy. But I haven't seen it yet, but we were speaking earlier and it was absolutely flat. I mean, to me, I saw a clip on Instagram and it was Lala's Watch What Happens Live appearance, and she said Kyle is the queen of Beverly Hills, not Lisa Vanderpump. Like, what did Lisa Vanderpump do to her to say such things? And 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 to me, you know, no one wants to, you know, obviously a big part of this whole storyline for the
Mhm.
season is the aftermath of Scandal and how Rachel doesn't bother to show up. I mean, it's all good having a aftermath about it, but when I heard you say the whole thing about Ariana, um, not liking it really kind of goes back to the season 3 to 6 days.
Mhm.
Because, truth be told, I've been very vocal on how I feel. I mean, I would never be friends with Katie Maloney. I think she's absolutely not all there. I mean, she's got and I just don't like her. She's kind of got a weird disposition. But Ariana, as you said, was never a fan of her to
Yep.
begin with. And now they're trying to pretend that they're going to be the Ben and Jerry of a sandwich shop. Like, get out of here, girl, bye.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna open at all. And I wanted to show this clip that I forgot to show. I'm gonna show it now to talk about how, and I hate agreeing with Tom Sandoval, but he's right when he's saying that Ariana's just being petty about not being bought out of the house. Because I was looking for this. There's two different clips of it, but there was one clip where she's talking directly to Lisa Vanderpump. This is before they're buying the house, and she's talking to her about buying a house with Tom Sandoval. And Lisa's like, "Well, you guys aren't married. Like, what if things don't work out?" And she's like, "Well, he can just buy me out." And that's what she
Yeah.
says she wants. But I did find this one clip. So let's watch it where she's also talking about it. So one sec, let me pull it up.
One part now. And if he wants to leave, he can find me out and I'll stay there. One part now. And if he wants to leave, he can find me out and I'll stay there.
Not them all looking around like confused.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi.
I mean, Candy, you showing that really kind of brings into light. I mean, with them,
I forgot about that.
with the
Yep.
whole buyout thing, I mean, I know when like it comes to like family members, that stuff can get messy, and you're all better off like selling the property and dividing it equally,
Yep.
so you don't have feuds later on. But as Lisa Vanderpump said, this could get messy because you're not married, you're not anything,
Yep.
and I mean, what is stopping her? I mean, if she just wants to get a easy exit, what is her main
It
point? Because
it is pettiness. It's like get back.
be-
Yeah.
be-
She's being petty.
because hypothetically, Candy, if you bought a place with either a friend or a significant other, and then you have some tumultuous thing, you, if you were to want to sell it, but someone's offering you to buy it out, unless it's kind of been given to you as a kind of a gift, like an inheritance, would surely you would just accept the buyout if it's a decent amount, if it's literally 50-50.
I mean, this is the thing. If I truly wanted to be done with someone, I would take the easiest road. I'm a firm believer. So if Tom is coming to me and saying, I'm going to give you $3 million or $1.5 million, whatever the hell it is, whatever, to buy you out of the house. And then I can go take that money, put it to another house. I have all these other stuffs. If I'm really, truly ready to move on with my life, then that is what I'm going to do. But if I'm actually not ready, then I'm going to make it hell to pay.
Right. That means you're not over it.
It means you're not over it, and it means that you want to stick it to that person. Whereas for me, I would put my own well-being before trying to stick it to somebody else. Now, if it was me being screwed, then oh hell no, I will fight you until I have no breath, because I'm not that type of person. Like if you are being like, if you want to screw me over and I've done nothing and it's not right, I will go to hell and back. Like there will be nothing that will stop me from getting what's mine. But if you're like being fair and you're like, hey, listen, like this is your half, this is my half, we can both just move on, then I'm gonna do that, because I'm a pretty rational person when it comes to that type of thing. So I think in
100.
her situation, I think she's being petty.
And at the end of the day, she's making so much money. And if he's such a monster, I would take a loss even to get out of there and move on.
To move on.
Like to finally break free and have like a clean slate. And that's where she's losing people, because there really is no excuse to be in that house anymore. She looks fake and she looks really weird, and she's showing who she really is.
100%. And it's also like I was saying earlier, it's like, it's not like she has children with him.
There's absolutely no reason.
There's really no reason to
like you've made like $7 million. Go get a house.
Go get a house, girl, with your new boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm done.
Man, move it along, little girl.
I've had enough. And like the whole, if I were a boyfriend, I would be pissed, because I'd be like, why are you feeling this sort of way? Don't you want to move on? You're with me. Like, what are you doing? Get out of that house.
Exactly. 100% to that, because literally it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, so I was just looking at the Redfin and Zillow estimates for the house. And people so they bought it for just under 2.1 million, and supposedly now it's worth 2.8. I mean, what is so bad of 50%, 1.4 million? If I've got 1.4 million and I've had some tumultuous break, I'll leave. And as Natasha pointed out, people like Ariana and Erica that have had these Chicago gigs and all these other gigs going on, they're making decent money outside of show, let alone being on a show.
Well, we all know Ariana has cleaned up. I bet she made like $10 million. Like she
10 mil?
has had endless gigs. They estimated she made $2 million like 3 months out, and she has not stopped working. So like she like cleaned up. She can get a house. And I think Spectrums of Light, she pointed out in your comments, Candy, about that giant picture. Why is that picture on the wall? You're you're snapping a penis flute in half, but you're going to keep that giant portrait of you two on the wall. What is going on?
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Like
it's not adding up.
It's not adding up. I mean, this is the thing. They were living separate lives anyway. They were already pretty much broken up in a 4-show relationship. Doesn't mean she still didn't get hurt, yada, yada, yada. So it's like, and you literally found a new boyfriend 11 days out. She met her new boyfriend, Daniel, 11 days after she broke up with him.
It's an actual joke.
So, girl, I don't know.
When I saw the boyfriend in the trailer, I couldn't, I was just like, this is so cringe. Like I said, what is your end game here? This is just so cringe. And like, I mean, I just found it laughable. And even in the trailer, when she says, "Why don't you move here?" the guy just looks so out of place and awkward. It's just like, what's going on?
Like he's like, "Bitch, what are you doing?"
I don't think he's that into her, to be honest with you. I think he thought he was getting a fun hookup, but then when they got snaps by the paparazzi, he was like, oh, I'm too far in to get out. It's almost like a Morgan situation, except for I don't think he has a team behind him. I just think he knew that if he broke up with her, he would be hated. But if he stayed with her, because they were saying how like the moment he got snapped by the paparazzi, he upped his rates on his Instagram account for like his personal training. He like upped all of his rates because he knew he could. So like, I think it was like a wedding hookup, got snapped by the paparazzis. If he was to break her heart after this, everybody would have hated him. And then he just sort of was like, well, let me just roll with it. But I don't think he's really into her.
I agree.
Yeah,
Wait,
I don't think so either.
Wait, so Natasha and Candy,
Yes, my love.
given what Natasha just said about she believes that Ariana made $10 million.
I just made that number up. I could be completely wrong. Like, let's just be fair. That's literally based on nothing.
But literally, outside of Lisa Vanderpump, who do you think is the wealthiest free cast members?
Oh,
do you think she's one of the three?
Like,
now, definitely Ariana. Prior
Ariana.
to Sandoval, no, but definitely Ariana. And I would probably say even James, and I would say James. I bet he makes a lot of money DJing, and he just bought the $1.3 million house. And
yeah,
I think Lala makes a nice coin. Because she just bought her new house in Palm Springs. I think she has her next to Sheena's. I think Sheena makes a cute coin. I actually think a lot of these people make a cute coin. That's because remember that season? I think it was like season 7 to 8 where they all bought the houses in the valley.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Sheena's been having a couple houses.
Yeah, Sheena's always been really good with her money because, again, Sheena was like a child actor, child model. Sheena's been in the game for a very, very long time. She was in the Jonas Brothers music videos. Her mom is basically like a stage mom. She was that's how she met Eddie. Eddie was an actor, Brandy's husband. She's been in this game for a long time. Sheena has a cute coin. And I think they have some money going on.
Just the phrase cute coin makes me laugh.
They have a cute coin. Ooh,
let's watch coin, just a cute one.
A cute coin. This wasn't the exact scene I was talking about, but this is another good scene between Ariana and Lisa. So let's watch and then we'll discuss, okay?
Okay.
That it was a much more serious thing for them, and then I'm like, okay, now I kind of maybe want to back out. But I know Katie wants to be involved, but I think when Katie kind of jumps in or has a strong opinion, I think it just stresses them out.
But you're remortgaging your house and everything, refinancing your house.
Well, yeah, and then he's doing that loan but it's only against his own equity. It doesn't affect me at all, so.
No, but what do you mean it's only against his equity? Because you're joint co-owners on the house, so if he kind of falls short on the loan,
then he would be paying me.
I'm not sure that Ariana quite understand the concept of putting your house up as collateral.
So all of that financial responsibility is on him and him alone, and my financial responsibilities are remaining intact. And we've worked this out together.
If they default on their loan, then the bank never goes and takes half the house back. It's like, Ariana, you stay in bed. We only want Tom's half. It doesn't work like that.
Are you going to be involved?
She's an idiot.
She was literally idiotic.
I couldn't. I was laughing.
Idiot. Number one, she was like, "Well,
I thought she was kidding.
If he defaults, then he'll pay me the money, sweetheart. If he can't pay the bank the money, then how in the hell is he going to pay you the money? Doesn't make any sense, girl." But again, she has that little attitude about her, like she knows best, and her and Tom against the world, and whatever. Lisa Vanderpump, and Lisa was like
Lisa was dumb or something.
What the hell are you talking about? I want to get to these 3-starred comments, and then I want your take on what the video we just watched.
For sure.
Hey, Priya says, what do you think about Charlie calling Brock a payroll husband? Spot on. Charlie, I'm here for Charlie. Charlie told no lies. Brock is 100% a kept man.
Guess what I just found out?
100%.
I just found out.
Personal opinion.
Speaking of Charlie, remember last year when Charlie got slapped in the butt by one of Brock's friends? Yes. Guess who that was?
Who?
Guess.
I don't know. Who?
Just kidding. It's O'Sheen from Southern Charm. I'm not kidding.
Oh, so what? another grifter.
Yep.
Because to me, they're nothing but grifters.
Yep.
They're weirdos. They're grifters. They're faking their phony.
All their friends are grifters. Just wannabe. Yep.
Yep.
Isn't that insane?
Oh, I just got your DM. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I tried to warn the people about Brock. I did. I tried to warn the people about Brock. I tried to, but Brock is a
Brock's like,
grifter.
look what
He's
it
a
got me. You could
scammer.
try too, bro.
You can do it too. You can get yourself good in with these good Bravo people and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm telling you, nothing but a grifter. But
I mean, Lala said it best. She said, he's got these 2 kids in Australia that he's just gonna ditch.
Yeah, that he did ditch.
And to me, like,
I would never have a child with a man like that.
Oh hell no!
I mean, to me, like, hopefully in the next 5-10 years, I can make the move. But literally, he only married her, in my opinion, for a green card.
For a green card to be on the show and for money because Sheena is a mark. I'm sorry, Sheena is a mark. Thank God I use my skills for the light. But if I use my skills for the dark, Sheena would be an easy mark.
Exactly,
And
because
Sheena's also really good with money, and he knew that at the end of the day, she was always going to be okay.
Exactly, because I was listening to Lala's podcast, and she was talking about all the relationships. This was back in when we first were introduced to Brock, and she was saying, if I was a human and I just go out of my head to decide one day it's fine for me to ditch 2 kids, what am I? Am I actually a human being, or am I just some person that shouldn't be here? It was, and to me, I mean, he there are some people after a few actions or one action or a few words, you can just scream opportunist. That was him all over.
100%.
And he was saying, in his head, oh, I know this girl has a house that's worth over $1 million. I know this, I know that. And he was and now that he's got a
she's
child
boy crazy.
Now she's got a child with American citizenship.
And child support, because now if they break up, she's going to pay him.
Yeah, and but if, as he's, even though people with green cards can technically get deported, as he's got a kid with American citizenship, it will be a lot harder because because I've learned all about immigration and stuff, because as I said, in 5-10 years I want to make the move. But to me, sorry, I completely went off topic, but
no, you're okay.
But you want to know what Natasha and I thought of the home equity scene? Natasha, what's your take?
Wait 1 second, Natasha. I'm going to get to this starred one. So Aya the Alchemist says, how did she meet the new boyfriend? Okay, so Ariana met her new boyfriend, Daniel, at one of her best friend's weddings in Mexico about 10 or 11 days after everything broke. So this was like the height of it, like all of that stuff. And they were, all in the paparazzi. And then Jessie says, I believe Sandoval after watching this season. She is mean and vindictive. She is emboldened and she doesn't have to fake it anymore. Remember, she threatened Sandoval and said she would not leave him. Yeah, this is who she's always been. I also tried to warn the people about her. This is who she's always been. But go ahead, Natasha.
I forget. What is the question, Adam? What were you saying?
So,
because I don't know anything about equity.
Candy wanted to know what you thought about essentially Ariana inadvertently dismissing Lisa Vanderpump, saying like, I don't know why this woman is checking on me about it would only affect his equity, not mine.
I don't know. I just always found that so strange because she's very smart. Like, she was like a child prodigy smart when she was young, right? I don't understand. That is like, a child would know that doesn't make sense. So I don't understand was she just like full blown, like was her brain just mush at that point, like full blown brainwash? Like I don't get it. That was just very strange to me, and it didn't make sense because it's not consistent with her intelligence level. We know she's not dumb, but like it was just like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like she makes fun of other people being dumb. Girl, you should have been like literally made fun of for that. That was ridiculous. Like, Are you okay? Knock, knock. Is anyone home?
You know what it is? This is what I think it really boils down to. I think that none of the people on the show, except for Katie and James, have any true respect for Lisa Vanderpump and or each other. And so I think that this was the heyday of like, you know,
they were all using her.
It was like, oh, Tom, like they took our name, our brand equity, blah, blah, blah. We made the show. They're using us. We're we don't really need Lisa. It was during that whole time when they were like, we don't need Lisa and Ken. We want to do it on our own. And they've always had that sort of like nasty attitude. That's why Lala happens live talking about Kyle is the queen of Beverly Hills. Lala, shut up. Did Kyle give you a job? No, Lisa Vanderpump did. That's another reason why I think this might be the last season, because I don't think Lala would have said that if she was going to be having to ask for a job back.
See, I find it so ironic because Lala, out of all the cast members, excluding Lisa Vanderpump, is the most followed person. And even though she's the most followed person, I would have thought she would do nothing but to promote the show in the best way. And as you said, knocking down the person who, one, actually employed you at one of the bars, and two, actually gave you as so-called B-list celebrity status. As much as all these Bravo stars, I mean, you have Kyle constantly on Beverly Hills trying to pretend she's an A-lister, but goodbye. But to me, I just find the whole thing ironic with Lala, because I must admit, after when Lisa Vanderpump isn't in a scene, James and Lala were a vibe. People. Yeah. So some people say that James's drunkenness was too much for them, but to me, that's just small change. And at the end of the day, it was pure banter and what have you. And as I said, the people who were serious, such as the Katies, and Jax, it seemed like they had some, no shade, but some anger problems, because they just at least the first 7 seasons had like the most lowest self-esteem, especially Katie.
Not for nothing, I'm like a Lala. I was like always like Lala the best, and I definitely like stuck up for her. But I was not impressed by her appearance on Watch What Happens Live. I was just like, girl, what are you talking about?
So low.
Like between picking Kyle and then just not having much to defend herself about, like when someone was like, how do you think she has the right to be mad at you for calling Raquel or whatever? And she's like, well, and she like couldn't come up with anything. And then she was like, well, I've never been one to do. I've always done what I want or something. I'm just like, what? And I feel like
Lala's just over it. I think she's over it.
I think so too, because she just was. It didn't even seem like she was trying.
No, she wasn't trying at all, and that's why I think it's the last season. I think it should be the last season, to be honest with you, because, like I said, do we care about these people anymore? And where can they go that makes sense within the Vanderpump Rules universe?
There's nowhere else to go.
I think I think they should I personally love the premise of it. I think they should reboot it with a fresh new cast.
Yep. The new class.
The new class, exactly. People who are actually working there, or just do Vanderpump Rules the next chapter and change the premise of the show. Because at this point, nobody even works there anymore. The only reason why they go is like, oh, let's go watch James do a DJ set. Because nobody works there. This entire
the intro isn't even at Sir anymore.
No,
Yeah,
because it can't
yeah.
be.
Natasha spelled that out. It isn't even as. That's actually quite funny.
Yeah.
But see, I kind of have two minds about it because this was, out of all the American reality shows, this is one of my favorites and
Yeah.
has been. And
Yeah, it was
and now seeing that that the obnoxious, controversial idiots Jax, Taylor, and Kristen
Ugh.
are being rewarded with this, might as well be called hillbilly rules, in my opinion. But
Agreed.
but I mean,
it looks very cheesy and boring show.
I when I saw the, I mean, what is this trash? What I'll be watching here. There is nothing fun about it. I mean, anything with Jax and
Kristen is just annoying to me.
I mean,
My thing is like I'm tired of them recycling talent that doesn't need to be recycled. Like they could do a revamped Vanderpump Rules. They could do a show called The Valley with new, fresh people. Like I don't know that Jax and Kristen are actually going to bring in any type of demographic. They don't have an audience. Nobody cares about Jax. Nobody cares about Kristen. It's lazy casting and it's very outdated, archaic casting and production. Because you could do a show called The Valley, which I think it's a great concept, but I think they should have done it with fresh people that we didn't already have a negative connotation or a positive connotation. It just would have been fresh, and I think that would have been a much better thing to go because the concept is cool. Like I'm like, okay, well, that would be like my next phase of life, like that would be cool. So let me see what that's gonna look like. But not with these freaking people. I'm not giving it one breath of my life. I'm not gonna watch it.
It's
I'm
not
not
worth my time.
for nothing. Jax Taylor, Kristen Doty, you gotta be kidding me. What a wasted opportunity.
They literally were kicked off the show for doing like racially insensitive stuff.
Literally kicked off the show for racism, and so now all of a sudden, because of Scandival, you want to give them a spinoff? Like I'm confused.
Lala
very weird.
How did Scandival negate their racism?
Very weird.
Exactly. It's so bullshit.
Stupid.
And Lala just about a week ago, 10 days ago, said on Instagram Live that apparently Kristen constantly like messages various cast members on Vanderpump Rules saying, you guys have stolen my job. You get to keep it," and just plays victim. And the most obnoxious person what I would say the worst person of them all was the time of Stacy and Jax, but all of these people knew exactly what they were doing, yet they pretend that they're uneducated and that they should have been given second chances, but they already had their second chance. They're not going to get a fifth chance, in my opinion. And to give them this, this might as well be the fifth or 20th chance, giving them this hillbilly rules show. I just don't understand. As you said, no one cares about these people. These people were axed from the network. But the thing is, if this show does go under and no one, and the show doesn't continue, how will these people gain relevancy? Ariana's already got her gigs, and obviously Lala is the most followed, but it's just like, who's going to care about
show
Casey?
Is canceled?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that noise?
It's ASMR. It's not on my side, I don't think.
No, okay. So Nataski, I think it might be yours, boo boo. Just whatever that background is. Yeah. Sounds like espresso music, like an espresso machine or something.
Exactly.
All right. Send me a latte, baby. Okay. Anyway, I'll go through. That's a great question, Adam. I'll go through each person and I'll say what I think their next move should be. So Katie, I think that Katie should open something about her, but she should find a different business partner than Ariana. They should just cut bait. And I think that she should do her own show around something about her. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a Bravo show. It could even be like a YouTube channel show, or maybe like a HLN show, or I don't know, something, because she has her new podcast with Dana. So she has that. Ooh, Natasha. So she has that, the new podcast with Dana, which I think is going to be great. It's under the Nick Viles podcast network. So she has that new podcast going on, which I think is great. And then I think she should do something about her and have it be around like cooking and hosting and decorating and running the business, some type of show. Doesn't have to be on Bravo, but something like that. Ariana, I think she should just keep riding the wave she's on, love it or hate it. I say ride it till the wheels fall off. My only issue is like, you need to humble yourself. And by humbling, I don't mean that you don't take the opportunities, you don't cash out, you don't go big. No, 100%. Get your bag, take every opportunity that God gives you 100%. But it's your attitude that needs to be humbled. She has a bad attitude. And I think she really needs to humble that attitude and still go out there and get your bag. And I think she'll have a lot of opportunities opening up for her. I think that she should just keep riding that, keep doing the acting gigs, keep doing the brand deals, just keep riding that wave. Get the hell out of the house. Stop being petty. Move on with your life. Let it go. You and Tom were no longer in love. Don't be spiteful. Let it go. Rachel is out here looking like a freaking weird it clown. Don't even care about what's going on with Rachel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, please, Rachel out here with her little podcast, sucking up to Bethany. Like, nobody cares about Rachel. Let it go. Let it go.
I'm dead. Tom clown.
She does. She looks like a weirdo. And so Tom Sandoval, she's like an it clown, right?
Oh
Tom Sandoval needs to go to a real facility. I think that there's something different. Now I'm being dead ass serious. There's a different twinge in his eyes. I think that there was something always going on with him. And I think that Sandoval just brought it to light. I think he needs to really go to I don't mean like go to Arizona and like take some ayahuasca and shrooms.
I mean a padded room.
I mean, he needs some serious help. I'm not buying this whole fake relationship with this model BS. I think he has, and then he
had the crazy eye on bio files.
Exactly. And I'm actually going to prep a breakdown of that. I just have to get the time to do it.
Yeah, because that deserves a whole Candy episode.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
I think he needs some serious, I'm not kikiing, I'm not joking. I think there's really something ticky boom going on. He just needs to take a beat and a break and get some help. Lisa Vanderpump, she's a queen. She's dipping it and doing it. She has Vanderpump Villa. Her coins are always coming in. She has a very cute coin. She's fine. James, sweetheart, James, just DJ and be with AI Robot Alley. Get off the show. But who cares? You know what I mean? Just go and just be a DJ. Okay?
Your AI girlfriend.
Go be your white Kanye West and leave us alone. I think James would really blow up on a TikTok. If I was him, I would try to be more of a music influencer. I think he would really blow up over there. Because he is funny. I think he'd have those really funny moments, and then the whole music stuff. That's what he needs to focus on. Lala. Lala. I actually think, Lala, you need to just go and bag another sugar daddy, because I just see that world for you. Just go. But I actually see her, but I want you to stay true to yourself, Lala. You were never attracted to Randall. You were never in love with him. You were in love with the life you thought he was going to give you. You need to just go ahead and get an NFL player or a basketball player, because you want the big black D, call a thing, and just go get that. Go get yourself an athlete. I see her as an athlete's wife.
Me too.
That's where I see her as.
Yes, the NBA, BBC.
And frankly, I'm not sure what human would be attracted to Randall. He is Big Ed's evil cousin.
Yeah, she was attracted to the life. She wasn't attracted to the man. Like, let's just call a thing.
Uh,
And I think that she also probably needs to get some support around raising her daughter, because she's breaking down on her podcast. And I mean this very seriously all the time about how difficult it is for her to raise her daughter and all of this stuff. I would get a mommy support group going on that is outside of your own mother, because sometimes when it's your family, it's hard to break family patterns. And I know that her mom lives with her and helps her with her daughter, but I think there's something going on with the co-parenting situation, with the child acting out, if the child doesn't have stability, going to Randall, going to her, being in chaos. So I think she probably needs to maybe get some family therapy with her and her daughter, and some mommy support. Like, for real, I think she probably needs that, because if you're always breaking down and crying about raising your child, that's a sign that you need some form of help. And she's also talking about on the show how she has all this trauma to work through. And I'm like, what happened? Like, I know it was a dog, but like, what happened, Lala? Like what's going on?
Yeah, like, do you want to share since you're on a show, or
yeah,
no?
she was talking about, like, I get the Randall scandal of it all. Like, okay, he had a Ponzi scheme with his production company. Okay, he was cheating on you. Okay, all horrible things.
I mean, there was alleged like really dark stuff.
Dark stuff. But she needs to sort of like unpack that for us, because it's like, well, wait,
yeah, because we're in the dark, boo.
We're in the dark here. So I think she needs to just go get her some big black D that she wants, live her best wags life, and get some NBA, whatever, and do her, because that's
Basketball Wives.
That's the life she wants. Yeah. Tom Schwartz. I don't have. I am trying to find an F to give, and guess what? I literally can't. So Tom Schwartz, on to the next. Sheena, you need to send it to Daryl, and you need to get divorced, because my prediction is that Brock is going to he's going to drive you crazy. You're going to be looking all skinny and cracked out and popping the pills, bug eyes all over the place. He's going to drive you crazy. He, in my opinion, probably is cheating or will cheat on you, and he's going to try and take you to the cleaners. If I were you, Sheena, I would cut bait now. I wouldn't tell him anything. I would get your lawyers together. I would figure out what you needed to take care of you and your daughter, and I would cut bait, because I just have a very sick gut feeling about Brock, and I don't think it's going to end well for her. I mean, that's
we saw his disposition like loud and clear on season 9. When, like you said, when he was dealing with the mom, that was gross.
Yeah, it was gross. It was gross. And you could
tell. She was like crying in stress, and he was like, what? And he was just being nasty. It was very weird.
Yeah, and very disrespectful and very like overpowering. I just have a gut feeling that Brock is really bad news. And it's not, and now it makes sense that he's friends with O'Sheen, because O'Sheen has that same very aggressive.
Yeah, remember he flipped out at Mia?
Toward women. Yes, toward women, the way he flipped out, and it's very weird, very bizarre. It's giving grifter vibes. And again, Sheena, you were a mark. He slid into your DMs because he was a fan of the show, and you decided to marry him while financing his life. That's never a good idea. Call me, I don't know, maybe I'm just very old-fashioned, maybe I'm very conservative, but my personal disposition as a woman, and I'm not judging anybody, but just me personally,
I know what you're gonna say, and I agree.
I'm not financing any man's life. I don't care what point you are I don't care. I'm not doing it. Because a lot of people who end up financing their quote man's life, the moment they pop off, they leave you for the younger, hotter version that did nothing to help them in their come up. You hear that story over and over.
A tale as old as time.
And I'll tell you why that happens. Because a lot of times with men, they look at their partner as a reflection of who they are. And every time he looks at you, it is a reminder of who he was, not who he is. So he wants to see a woman that reflects who he is now, which would be that trophy wife woman. Very, very, very few couples make it. Look at Sutton and her husband. They came from, humble beginnings. And then he got this huge, billion-dollar company, and they got divorced, and he was on to the next. It happens all the time. That's why you get a lot of women.
Did he ever get remarried?
Yeah, I think with Sutton's situation, it was a bit more cordial, and I think it kind of was.
No. Did you watch the last episode of Beverly Hills yet?
No.
Okay, well then, get back to us after you watch that.
Get it back to us after you watch it. After you watch the last episode, it will shine a lot of light on what happened with her and her husband. And I think.
P.S. I laughed a lot last episode.
It was a really good episode. It was good.
It was hilarious.
Does 8.5 feature in it?
She's not as annoying. Yeah, she's not as annoying.
And she was actually wearing a cute outfit, and she looked like cute, like when she was wearing that pink fuzzy sweater thing.
Yeah, like, I mean, she's still delusional as hell, but she was definitely less annoying than she's been in the lot.
Because I kind of like needed a break from 8.5. I didn't want to watch it when it first came out.
No, trust me.
You're gonna like this episode. It's a good one.
It's a good one. You're gonna like it, and then you'll see why I'm using Sutton as an example for this. But a lot of times,
Merce in the purse.
That's what happens because a lot of men really do look at their partner as
scares me
to mirror them. But I mean, and also look at like Jeff Bezos and his wife. You know, he started out, they were together for how many years, how many decades? You know, she held him down.
Almost 3.
Yeah, she held him down when he had nothing. And now that he's the big billionaire, their marriage fell apart. Because and now he's with, you know, she's not super young, but she's still
26,
different. Yeah, all of
years.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? A lot of times
she's like more vampy and like
they don't want a partner who reminds them of, instead of looking at someone and be like, wow, look how far we came, they look at them and say, you remind me of where I used to be.
Well, what are we supposed to do? Like, that's scary. Like, how do we like sniff that out of dudes that are capable of that? Like, now I'm freaked out even more than
I think a lot of it is, and this also happened with like Betty Broderick. You know,
it's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, and all of that stuff. I think what it is just making sure as the woman that our mindset is always, I am the prize. And the mindset is always, you know, I am the dream girl. I am the, you know, whatever it is, because I think that sometimes we decenter ourselves and we put the relationship or the man or the money or whatever it is on the pedestal, when no matter what, whether he has $1, $1 billion, or $100 million, I don't care. We are still the prize as the woman. And I think sometimes we start to forget that we are the prize. And it's not to put the onus on us, because we can't control men by any means, but I think subconsciously sometimes that can happen. And I think just keeping that communication open, you know, and then at the end of the day, like, we could have the best mindset in the world and do everything right. We still can't control other people. Exactly. So I think what we need to do is just love ourselves first, the best and the most, know that we're the prize, and call Sutton for her divorce attorney if anything happens to pop off. Make sure all
right, and always put God before your man, because
100%. God first, always. God above everything. That was actually a big reason why I was late. Was I was reading my Bible and writing in my journal, and I forgot I had even.
Come on, spirituality.
I was.
Yes.
I was reading the Bible and I was journaling, and I had forgot I had even scheduled a live, and then I was like, "Oh crap!"
I go, "Hey, girl, you still doing your live?"
And I was like, I had forgot.
Well, what's it? The Alchemist said, "I don't." Yeah, they didn't have a prenup because Sasha knew the former husband from high school, and that's why she got literally a hell lot of money, because he's, as Caddy said, as an executive.
Yeah, he wasn't a billionaire when they met, and they knew each other from high school. And I think they reconnected after college.
Yeah,
while she was in New York.
He was worth 100 million, and she got 50 million, pretty much.
And then look at how much she's getting, like, and then she had the right. And then it also goes back to having the right attorneys, because not only did she get that lump sum, but now she's also getting like 300.
Oh, she got a lump and.
Yeah,
I didn't know about the lump.
She's still getting support.
No, I
I'll
thought she just
send
got the support. I didn't know there was a lump.
Yeah, she got like 20 million, I'm pretty sure, or something, because
Plus a 300K a month untaxed.
Yeah, I
because
mean, she had 3
house
kids, so like alimony and
the
child
ha
support.
the
He
house
must
she
make
had with her
so much money if
husband.
that is what it came down to. That is crazy.
Yeah, and she said
Yeah,
she gets that after tax.
yeah, exactly. That
Yep.
was the house she had with her ex-husband, was just completely given to her. They didn't split it 50-50, and that was a $6 million home. So that kind of says it all. Even just, but the only one thing I like Sachin and
Me too.
Garcelle. Out of all the people on the show, Sachin, Garcelle, and Erica are my top three. Last one would be controversial, but nevertheless,
And the
the only
ways.
one, the one
Oh,
thing
sorry.
the one thing I'm going to throw shade with Sachin is that if I had her coin, I wouldn't live on the main road. That's the one thing. Because in England, that's kind of seen as criminal. Like if you have money to live on a residential road, like
Yeah, but not in LA because I was actually just looking at some houses myself, and I was looking in like called like Brentwood Park area, and if you go and look at there, it looks like residential, but right when you open the gate to the house, these are like $30 million houses.
Yeah,
so
but
once
you have the same in London. You have the same in London, but not in a shady way. But most of the people who live there aren't old money. They're just international buyers. I mean, she lives on a road just off Sunset Boulevard because her house was featured in
no, those are very coveted areas.
Yeah,
like
but it's
very coveted. It's also off of Sunset Boulevard, and these are like 30 million, $26 million houses. Like it's the same area that Sophia Richie Grain lives in. She got married to her $1 billion husband. He's like the son of like some huge record guy. No, that area, like
he's literally an aristocrat.
100%. Like when it looks very like residential, but when you go behind their gates, these are huge properties that are anywhere from like the 20 to 30 million dollar
yeah, it's the same in London, but it's just kind of seen as like, for example, Lisa Vanderpump would never live on the main road. She's always lived in gated communities. And Sachin doesn't have the same money, but she's not far off, and she could easily afford Lisa Vanderpump's house. But going back to what you were saying with Tom Without a Backbone, I mean, quite frankly, throughout the years I've watched him, I'm surprised he's just not some simple person that works as the ice cream man. No shade, but like he literally just seems ordinary. He may be somewhat one could describe as an attractive looking man, but he just comes across as ordinary. And what's his name? Is it Peter, the guy who wanted to be a cast member but then kind of was only like a guest that works. Like he kind of is just a slight promotion of him, and the thing is, if you were to ask me back like in season 5 or even season 7, if I had to pick out the two Toms, who would I trust as kind of like my person to go in business with if they're the last two people on Earth, I would have picked Sandoval. And I think the majority of people would do if they were the last humans on Earth.
But now it's looking more like Schwartz.
Yes, now it is, but it's just he's so simple, and you get some businessmen that have fortunes that are simple, but I kind of like that kind of vibrantness.
I had a weird thing where I was thinking about. I was like, what do you think that Sandoval has on Schwartz? Like, are they secret lovers? What's going on? Like, why? Because when you could tell, like, he's just like, everyone in Schwartz's life tells him, you need to bounce. You need to get out of there. He's going to take you down.
I don't think Sandoval has anything on Schwartz. I think that Sandoval and Schwartz are the same. I think that they just express it differently, but I don't think that Schwartz gives a damn.
Schwartz is just more covert.
Yeah, Schwartz doesn't give a damn about Katie or her feelings. He dogged her out for over a decade, like literally dogged her the hell out and made everybody hate her when he was the one who was really, when truth be told, he was actually the abusive one.
I mean, she was just bad. In all fairness, she was
bad, but she was more like she was more like reactive abuse. I know how you feel about Katie, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to their relationship, he dogged her the hell out, and she had everybody hating her, calling her Tequila Katie, and all of that stuff. And he is just as
he really did.
Exactly, Miss T, 100%. Show me your friend, and I'll show you who you are. 100%. Sandoval has nothing.
That's true. You know what? You're right.
They're the same. Schwartz
that is so true, because I always believe that too. Like, I look at someone's friends, and it has proven in my life time and time and time. Every time you try to go against this and you think that maybe it's an exception, it never is.
Right.
If you look at someone, because when you think about, I'm not friends with anyone nasty or anyone really capable of any of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if they're nasty, I'm not.
And like, if they're that nasty, I don't trust them, because if you can do it to someone else, you can do it to me. Like, that's just how I think.
Exactly.
I'm not friends with immoral people. Like, I don't know.
Same concept. Like, you'll lose him how you got him. You know, if he's gonna cheat on her to get with you, he'll cheat on you for the next. Same thing with friends. People are who they are. You know, if someone's gonna be nasty to some person, one day it's just gonna be your turn. You know, turnabout's fair play. And then people get shocked, but it's just like, well, you hung out with the snake and you're shocked that they bit you. That's what snakes do.
And exactly. Sandoval's just outwardly, and then Schwartz just learned to be the old shucks kind of character.
Exactly. They're like that little yin and yang. They're like this. They're two sides of the same coin. And that's why they complement each other in a very weird way. You know, Tom Sandoval is the more of that extroverted one, where Schwartz is the more covert one, and they play off of each other and they use each other, and then they
good cop, bad cop, all that.
Triangulate other people around them. Like, that's why Katie was always trapped in that triangle. You know, Sandoval coming after her about the whole Schwartz and Sandy's thing, and then Schwartz is in the confessional being like, actually, I was the one who said it was uninspired, and poor Katie thought that she was helping Schwartz because Schwartz told Katie to talk to Sandoval about it.
And he blamed it on Katie.
And then when Sandoval lost his mind and went after Katie, Schwartz didn't do anything. And that was really the beginning of the end for them. And that was right before they ended. She wanted to divorce him because she was like, I'm out here defending you, having your back, thinking that we are the team.
You're throwing me under the bus.
But when I'm saying something on your behalf that you asked me to, you throw me under the bus. So he had everybody thinking Katie was trying to control and insert herself. When the truth was, he asked her to. Because he said it in the confessional. He said, I was the one who said it was uninspired. And she said, I'm saying it for him. And so she was blindsided when he took Sandoval's side. And she was like, wait a minute, are you married to him or are you married to me? And I'm only getting involved because you asked me.
She was always left holding the bag. Like, and he was like, it was. He set her up all the time to take the fall.
To take the fall.
I mean, they're both confusing people, but I must admit, like, do you guys believe the Schwartz, Sheena, Vegas makeout, or do you think that's just fake as hell?
When is that even supposed to have happened? I'm so confused by that.
Yeah, years ago. I'm definitely when he was with Katie, but pre-Brock, I'm guessing.
Of course, with Katie.
I think they probably did kiss, but I think it was a big nothing burger that they're now trying to spin for storyline. And I don't think anybody actually cares. I don't think Katie cares. I don't think Schwartz cares. I don't think Sheena cares. I think that particularly because Rachel did not come back, I think that they are definitely trying to keep.
They're like, well, what else do we got in here?
Because all of their storylines have kind of ran out in a way that makes anything salacious. And to be honest with you, season 10 was only interesting because of Scandival and hindsight. Had it not been for Scandival, season 10 would have been a flop. It would have been so dead and boring. And what the only thing made it interesting was like being like, oh, let's look for Easter, like let's look for things and blah, 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 watching it in hindsight. So now they're trying to keep that heightened sense of Scandival, but it's falling flat because there's really nothing going on in these people's lives that merit an entire show. Even as an ensemble, I'm not invested in any of them. The show could be canceled today and I would not care.
That's true. I was ready to bail like after like episode 2, and then right then that's when it all kicked off, and I was like, well, guess I'm watching now, you know.
Yeah.
If this show was to come back in any shape or form for another season, remind me again, Candy, what you said that this show would actually need.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Because you said there was 2 scenarios. You said either they completely get a U-cast, and then you said if not, if they don't get a complete U-cast, there will have to be a different direction with the show.
Yeah.
What different direction in the show would be attractive to you for there to actually be a season 12?
I think it would have to be definitely more around them adulting, like almost the premise of the Valley, but not as pre-scripted as the Valley seems. Like these are these 3 blah blah blah. I think they would have to do deeper dives into their lives, and it would have to not be around the restaurants anymore. Like I don't want to see James DJing at Tom Tom just so that they have a reason to tie it back to the restaurant scene. Like they need to just cut bait with that altogether. And it really needs to be around these people adulting at this point in their lives without trying to harken back to the old premise of the show, because that's such a conflict. It doesn't make
he's playing in stadiums now. Like he's not.
Yeah, he's playing in stadiums and at like arenas and festivals and all of this stuff. And I think that they need to show each person truly in their glory. I would like to see them bring on new people who they're actually friends with rather than trying to fake these friendships. Because I don't think Ariana is friends with any of these women. I don't think Katie is friends with I don't think any of these people are actually friends anymore.
I've said for years
like,
that
the whole because I think Brock and Lala are gonna have sex. Okay.
Yeah. I mean the whole. I've always said that the Katie and Lala friendship to me is completely fake. I mean, if Katie and Ariana, for example, were if they just Ariana might quit, but hypothetically, if Katie got fired and Ariana quit, and they replaced them with 2 or 3 new people that actually are friends with people like James and Lala, not Schwartz's friends in the corner or some. Do you think Lala and James will be able to bring 3 friends on the show that actually will be entertaining?
I think they could. And weren't they? I think they're going to bring on some girl who was like super pretty. Remember there was some girl that was like tagged in like Lala's Instagram when they go on their cast trip somewhere, like somewhere in the mountains. They're like, oh, is this the new girl coming? I do think that they need to bring on more people on the show who are, and I don't agree so much with Real Housewives, but I do agree with Vanderpump Rules that has to be connected to the cast currently, like that are actually real friends. You know,
I think with the Housewives, you know, with Garcelle, she necessarily weren't best friends with Renna, but they
Garcelle,
they knew of each other.
But the thing with Garcelle, it wasn't so much Renna, it was Denise. Garcelle and Denise were really close, and they came on, and that's what I think. To me, that's more of what I liked, was that Garcelle and Denise were really close. Yes, they knew Renna and all of that, and they were close to her, but I loved that Garcelle and Denise came onto the show together as friends, rather than trying to fake friendships like an Anne-Marie and Kyle. I think that it's okay for people to come onto the shows who aren't necessarily friends and just sort of do like a Made in Chelsea, where it's like, oh, I bumped into this woman at the coffee shop. She seemed really cool. I invited her out and now she's a part of the group, rather than pretending that they have this sort of history, which is why we now have, and this is a prediction I have for Beverly Hills reunion, which is now we now have Anna Marie and Kyle beefing with each other, because Kyle is now out here being like, I don't know that hoe. I met her once. But on the show, she's pretending like they're such good friends. She comes on her ally. Anna Marie understands her assignment, being her mouthpiece. And then now you have Anne Marie being on Watch What Happens Live and being like, Kyle needs to calm down. And I'm like, whoa, what happened there? I thought these two were BFFs, because they weren't actually friends. These were two women who did not really know each other, but yet they were both lying for storyline on the show. So I do think that it's okay for people, for them to be more transparent. And I think the audience will buy into that. Like, that's why we have Garcelle and Sutton, who are such great friends now, and they are a vibe, but they didn't know each other going on the show.
Yeah,
and I think it would have been great if Denise would have stayed on the show. The problem is that what Rinna did messed up the vibe. You know, if Denise wasn't ran off the show by Rinna, I think that Denise and Garcelle and Sutton would have been such a vibe, and we can throw some other chicks in there too. And I think that the trajectory of Beverly Hills would have been very, very different. I don't think we would have gotten that dark season we got if Denise had stayed and Rinna wasn't as evil as she was. I think it would have been a much lighter season, and I think the show would be very different now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, you know, as you said, with the Sutton and Garcelle, like, you know, they formed a very strong friendship, and I actually think, you know, they're the type of people that may have not been friends typically, but some friendships kind of form organically, even though they're not similar people, and, you know, opposites attract. But what I meant by kind of knowing people is that, you know, as you said, with Denise and Garcelle, they knew each other. Denise was on season 9. Denise, I liked having, even though Denise was getting through the takedown with Rinna, I liked it that Garcelle knew of Denise and was that supportive friend. And I kind of liked it how Kyle and Rinna knew of Sutton, but were deep down jealous of her, because Sutton was Kathy Hilton's friend, really, not ever Kyle's friend as much as, and everyone knows that hurts Kyle deep down. Is that I like the organicness, but, you know, not. I know you don't like her, but in Dr. Heavenly's words, with Married to Medicine, who on earth was Mariah's friend? Like,
I hate Dr. Heavenly.
I was waiting for you to say that.
With a passion.
I was sitting there just like, is she gonna say it?
Dr. Heavenly is evil. Dr. Evilly is really more like it.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if she wasn't on the show, it would be cancelled.
But I think we can cancel the show. Who's even watching Married to Medicine anymore?
I don't.
It's got good viewership, surprisingly. I've only watched a few
that's weird.
I think it's on the way out. And then that girl, that Sweet Tea casting, totally off-brand. I don't know what the hell they're doing with that shit.
I don't like it either, but
Heavenly. Very odd. Did Quad. I mean, that was Quad's karma. I'm also going to do a recap because Mariah was on Carlos King's YouTube, and she did a really good episode, and I want to break that down too. I just got to find the time to do it, y'all.
Speaking of Carlos, he was on Heather McDonald, and he said something I totally agree. He was like, I just want off the Ariana group chat. He's like, I was here for you, but I want off it. Like, I'm over it.
100%.
I mean, I would much appreciate it if you could break that down, just because that interview would be hard to watch.
The Mariah one?
Yeah. But
Adam. I have a list of my deep dives, you guys, because I was talking to Natasha about this. I was a little burnt out on Bravo. You guys know me. I go through like cycles where I'm like, I love it. And then I'm like, I'm burnt out. I hate it.
I know. I become obsessed and then I'm like, I can't stand it.
I can't stand this anymore. But I've been brainstorming different angles and different videos I want to do that's not just like reviewing.
I'm obsessed with true crime.
So I got a couple ones. What'd you say,
yeah.
baby?
I've been obsessed with true crime lately. That the latest murder in Kansas City. Those Chiefs fans that were found in the backyard.
Do you think it was foul play?
Yes. That guy worked for Big Pharma, and he supposedly, and like one of the cousins said like he used to like whip up stuff. So they finally got a tox report super fast, by the way, which is weird. And they were like, yeah, it was fentanyl was in there. But so it only takes like 10% for it to kill you. There was 30%. Like it was giving murder. Like I feel like they were poisoned, and he didn't call the police or anything for 48 hours. The girlfriend had to break in the house just to see if find her boyfriend because he wasn't answering the phone. And he finally answered the phone to the police. It is crazy. This guy's creep. It's really scary. It's a wild case, and I'm obsessed.
Wow.
I mean,
Your reaction.
It's bad.
Wow.
Oh my god. I'm dead.
I mean, I haven't seen the episode, but this live stream, I'm sure, is
and
more
then
exciting than the episode.
like a juxtaposition with Adam's voice, like it's just like.
Guys, this is everything.
Oh my god.
I'm crying.
But
sorry, Adam.
but if
yes.
I'm sorry, but Natasha's
sorry.
So I don't know what's going on.
I'll put myself on mute.
You're okay.
Yeah,
You're okay.
Please, thank you. So you would happily watch this what we discussed about as a potential of a revamp of some sort of this show if they actually delve into their adulthood and, as you said, their mature lives. You would actually happily watch that.
Yeah, I would watch that. I would watch that because the thing is, and it's like, and this is the problem. And I said at the top of the show is that the problem with the way they are doing it now, and particularly this the premiere episode, is that they're too much catering to headlines and forced storylines and forced explanations. Whereas I think what they should have done was just actually pick up with their life and just actually document their life, kind of do really more of a real reality documentary type vibe, which is how reality TV should be. Because now every single conversation they have, it's basically reacting to some sort of headline or reacting to some sort of meme. And I think that they're doing it wrong. They don't understand how to, yes, go to social media. What are the blogs talking about? What is trending? What are the topics? Understanding that and baking it in an authentic way. What they're doing now is just taking all the headlines and the memes and literally just being like, oh, well, I'm going to make this latte because nobody made it for me. Oh, every time I sit on this couch, I think about, the talk with Tom, flashback to the talk with Tom, and it's just like every single scene was so scripted and contrived where I'm just like, if I just wanted to get, the bullet points of what's happening in social media, I would just watch the Candy Cane show. I would like, because I got all the bullet points, baby.
Literal bullet points.
Literal bullet points. And I think that is what was missing. And that's why this episode was so flat, where it's like they were talking at us instead of talking to us. And that is what the disconnect is.
The level of cheese when Sheena was like, the last time we were on this couch, girl, you've been sitting on that couch for months. Stop it.
Stop it. And did he text you back? Because I did blah, blah, blah. And he blocked, he blocked the little baby. He didn't block the baby. When you block someone on Instagram, they block all of their little burner accounts.
And why would you want to keep and even if he did, so what? Like, if you're not friends with someone, why do I want to follow your kid? That's weird.
Yeah. Irene says, looks like Bravo's setting up scenes a lot. Exactly. Every single scene just seems so forced and fake. Like even at the girls' night, Lala's like, well, I just have to tell you, I called Rachel. Oh my God, you did? Mm-hmm. Whoa. It was just so
Oh my God.
you know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like, come on. And
God.
even the reactions were so fake. Because number one, Ariana would have went all the way the F off.
All the way off.
If she did not, because the thing is, I think everybody at that table knew producers told Lala to call Rachel. And all of their reactions was very performative. Katie would have went all the way the F off. Sheena was trying her best to act. She was like, well,
trying her best.
I don't know why I had the restraining order, all this stuff, but it was still so fake, because then you get to the confessional where the producers are feeding the question to Ariana, like, well, do you think that it's hypocritical for her to call, Rachel when she was so up in arms about Randall? And she's like, yeah, I feel like if it was the other way around, she was mad about people playing pickleball and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, producers, like, good, and you told that girl to call Rachel, and now you're trying to, again, like I said, they're trying to pit Lala versus Ariana because they need that type of female conflict, because that's what they're missing. They're also missing the male conflict. And I've said this for Stassi back particularly, but we're missing those types of personality energies on the show, because Lala is great, but she's not that girl the way Stassi was that girl. James is great, but he's not that guy the way Jax was that guy. I'm not saying
we don't need another Jax. We don't need anyone like Jax.
I'm not saying that we need them, but I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about the energy and the position they held. I'm not talking about them as individuals.
Yeah, I know, but the energy that Jax held was just trash. No, but
that's you're talking about him personally. I'm talking about the position, which is like the number one guy in the group. He was the number one guy in the group, and that's really what they're missing. I'm not talking about his personality personally. You know what I mean? That's what we're missing, like that type of position that they hold. Like everybody has their own archetype. We have like the cheerleader, we have the quarterback guy, like we have like the golfs, in each, and it's also just like storytelling. You always have every type of archetype of person in the story. And these are all forms of stories, And those are the dynamics that we're missing. And they're trying to create that dynamic with Lala versus Ariana. And I don't think it's really going to work, because I think that it's going to be the same old thing where Ariana is going to be mean and bitter, and Lala's going to just be uninterested, but she's showing up to get the check. Because to me, Lala seems very checked out, and she seems like, I am here for the check and just that.
Yeah, I mean, she's on there for the check, and I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, yesterday's or the 2 days before, it was very evident of that.
I mean, I will watch the episode. When I do, I will DM both of you and actually give you my thoughts, because.
What you mean, Vanderpump or Beverly Hills?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Because the fact that you
even Miami was a good episode, I thought.
Miami was really good.
I mean,
it
was a good week.
I mean, Lisa Hochstein, and
she went full Karen.
She lost her damn mind. She needed to stay home.
Alexia and Marisol are just doing the most.
Poor Jody.
Are just doing the most. They're doing my head in. The jealousy of Nicole. I mean, in England, we always say there's a difference between someone being envious and someone being jealous. They don't have a streak of envious; they're just flat out jealous. But
envious isn't as like nefarious.
No, envious isn't saying like that person.
I wish I had that too. Jealousy is like, I want that, and I'll kill you to get it.
It's not. Yeah, it's kind of a lighter context of, but with with this show, I mean, both of you have raised valid points. I think, this show, it will be an interesting one, but what I am shocked is that aside from the Salt Lake City finale, this premiere episode has had a broken record for 2024 Bravo show views. 1.4 million.
Yeah, because people want to know, but I bet you it dips.
It's going to dip.
I know, but
it's gonna dip.
To me, I'm surprised it went over 1 million because
I'm not.
because I thought that people kind of were put off at the same time. It kind of had that double-edged sword with the Scandal thing that people were like, okay, as we've all said, what are they actually going to talk about now that Rachel's not in the picture? Do you think this will be the only episode that gets 1 million views plus?
Yeah, unless something big happens. I think that even though a lot of people had fatigue, I think that curiosity overcame the fatigue. Like for me personally, I was like, I don't want to watch this, but I was like, I got to do it. You know what I mean? That's going to see what's going to happen. And I think that curiosity kind of will overcome it because you want to see, well, maybe I should tune in to something new happening. And then also remember, there's like the two different buckets of viewers. There's the viewers like us who like know what's going on. We have critical thinking, and then you have the other viewers who just watch the show, take it as Bible, and believe that's the truth, and they are totally hooked, line, and sinker on it, and they don't use any critical thinking, or do any extra deeper dives. So those people might not be as burned out because they haven't had so much consumption of it, or they're just drinking the Kool-Aid. Because I don't know how Ariana is still thriving at this point. I don't know why she's still getting booked. I don't know why she's still busy. Good on her. I'm not shading her. If you can get the coins,
it's kind of strange. It's just strange.
She's
not that likable. Like it's weird.
So ride it. Shout out to Wendy Williams. Rock it till the wheels fall off. Do you?
I think she drank the golden juice, like as Taryn Manning.
Oh,
said.
Taryn Manning, you got the gold juice.
I mean,
that's what it's giving.
Also, before you go, Candy, can you?
Yes, my love.
Can you clarify the last bullet point, please?
Katie, the new Kyle. Okay. So the reason why I put that bullet point was because there is going to be a storyline this season, and I found this out a very long time ago. Natasha can vouch that Katie and Tom Schwartz were hooking up with the same woman. And that is going to be a storyline. And Katie has this line where she says, let the best man win. And so I'm like, is this the new Kyle where it's like all of a sudden your marriage is over or in shambles, you're beefing with your husband / ex-husband, whatever, and you now want to play in our faces like you are all of a sudden a bisexual and you're hooking up with a woman. And I'm like, is it Kyle and Morgan and Mauricio vibes? Because I don't buy it. I think that Katie is just doing what she has to do to stay on the show. I think Tom is doing what he has to do to stay on the show. And like I said, a lot of these people's lives, it's already wrapped. It's their storylines for the people that they were introduced to us as. That is over. I actually think I think Vanderpump Rules should have ended with season 9. That's actually my personal opinion. I don't even think they should have got a season 10. And I sure as hell don't think they should get a season 12 because I don't have good hopes for it. But I think it's all storyline because I think they're chasing salaciousness. They're chasing headlines at this point. They're chasing that next big thing. That's why we have Schwartz being like, well, I kissed Sheena in Vegas. What? Why are you saying that now 20 years later? Like who cares?
It's dumb.
Because they're trying to chase it's like, it's like drug addicts. No offense to anybody who suffers, but they're always chasing the first high. And I feel like that's what's kind of going on with this. They're chasing that first Scandal quote high. That's why we have Katie hooking up with a woman who just so happens to be hooking up with Tom Schwartz. Come on. Now, all of a sudden, we have Tom Schwartz talking about he kissed Sheena and Katie's going to really care about that 20 years later. Come on. It just feels like they're chasing that high. They're chasing that next buzzworthy thing to keep the show going because in reality, all of these people, and no shade to them personally, but from an entertainment storytelling standpoint, they're wrapped. They're wrapped for what Vanderpump is. for what Vanderpump Rules is, their story has wrapped. And that's the thing that people need to, and we even talk about with Housewives, where it's people's, especially when you're talking about somebody's life cycle, it ebbs and it flows, you know, it comes in waves and there's different seasons. And I just think that all of these people, they're stale now. Like, what does Tom Sandoval bring to the show? What does Ariana bring to the show? What does James? James is a good for a laugh here and there, but he's not actually friends with these people. You know, like none of these people are really friends. And that's the thing. And so that's why I was like, is Katie the new Kyle? Because now we're getting these shows where they've exhausted every avenue. And so they almost exploit different sexualities in a way where it's like, well, we have nowhere to go. Katie, we clown you for your
go kiss a girl now.
Katie, how about you go be bi? Let's go find a girl for Katie to kiss because we have nothing else to do. The way Kyle was playing our face with Morgan, and she just did another paparazzi shoot talking about Morgan. Paparazzi shot. That's why she took all the Instagram photos down, because her contract is up.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead. But that's what I meant by that bullet.
I was saying that in terms of the actual friendship dynamics in this cast photo, I think the only dynamic to me that seems somewhat still real in terms of actually looking at the Instagram stories when they're not even filming is James and Lala. I think when they were doing their thing in bed, you know, they were iconic vibe. When they weren't, when the Randall scandal happened, they were still a vibe. Because secretly, not discrimination people who are, but when James said you only sleep with a fat fuck because he pays your rent, when he said
let's be careful with the F-bombs. With the F, this is the thing. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you, Court of Public Opinion, for being a member. I appreciate you.
Happy
you guys
birthday.
Are my birthday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. What is up? Happy birthday to ya. Woo, woo, woo. But I'll say to what you said, Adam, I think this is the thing. I think that Tom and Tom, to be honest with you, when it comes to the love story of Vanderpump Rules, the true love story has always been between Tom and Tom. And I don't mean romantic. I mean like actual, like, you know, love. It has always been between Tom and Tom. The whole show really has been about their bromance, and everybody else has kind of been extensions of that. So I do think that Tom and Tom are still friends, but that's not enough to carry the show anymore because nobody is an extension of them anymore. And then I agree that James and Lala are really good friends, but it's not enough to carry the show because they're almost in their own little silo in the corner, you know, and it's not enough to carry the show. Now, if it was James and Lala, and then you brought in friends who were really friends with them and they had interesting stories and jobs and ideas and conflict and all of that stuff, then but then that would be a different show.
Yeah, I think if they had that as a different show, I'll be watching that for sure.
Yeah, I would watch that too. We love you too, Court.
Much love.
Much love.
But just so I can remember to the last time, when I asked you out of all the cast members, who would you be friends with? When it was the last season, you said you agree with me that it would still be James and Lala as your two, excluding Lisa Vanderpump, because obviously who wouldn't be you? Everyone will get on with her, unless you're some psycho like Renner. But is that still the case that your two choices will be James and Lala to be friends with in real life?
To be honest with you, at this point, I don't think I would be friends with anybody on the cast.
Me neither.
And I'll tell you why. Katie, too much. Ariana, never liked her. Tom Sandoval, get some help. LVP, please be my mentor. I absolutely love you. James, I like his little moments. I think he's funny and he's a vibe, but in real life, I don't think that we would mesh. Lala, I think she has some stuff she needs to work through. And at this point in my life, I want friends who are kind of a little bit further ahead in their own emotional development. Tom Schwartz, he's like a noodle, wet blanket. Sheena she's too much going on. I wouldn't want Brock around me. She's a little bit of a mess. I think that the majority of these people, to be honest with you, kind of need to get their stuff together before I would befriend any of them. And that's just how I feel about them. And honestly, I think out of the guys, I think James has it the most together, but I still want to be friends with him. And out of the girls, Sheena needs to go to get some help. Lala needs to get some help. Ariana, her personality, I don't think so. And then Katie, I like her, but
there's something off about her.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
exactly.
It's like almost there's something. I said in the chat, it's almost like it's a poser. Like, I don't know. She kind of gives try hard, like to be this alternative person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, you're actually kind of cheesy sometimes. Chill.
Yeah, it's a little. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think she wants to be real, but like I'm actually real, and I don't think she could handle it.
I mean, for me, if I just had to describe each of them, Sheena, bit of a player, wouldn't trust her. Tom Schwartz, I can't be associated with people with no opinion, no backbone. Lala, I'll get on with her. Chill, banter, actually can comprehend British humor, no shade. But one of the very few, just like you two. James,
nice save.
James, he's not the most serious guy. I like that, but he at the same time he's not in his drunk phases where he was going mad in the season 3s, 4s, and 5s. And he overall he's a chill guy. There's nothing Randall or you have people like Mauricio who kind of always has that sketchy double-edged sword to him, and you have Fatboy Kemsley that is might as well be at the job center. Because no one trusts him. Lisa Vanderpump, massive respect, most funny, spontaneous person on Bravo. British humor works its charm. You guys have learned. Tom Sandoval, never ever too much of a liability. I mean, even probably having the same photo in my iCloud, it probably will get hacked and then I've to lose every business contact. Ariana, just too much effort. There's always kind of complaints. I want my life to be perfect, but you're not perfect type of vibe is how I think she kind of speaks to people. She always wants that. And, I kind of have the attitude, this life is about a progression and what have you. So, if someone thrown in my face, I'm going to try you out because I want my life to be perfect, and then kind of dismisses them saying you're not perfect. And Katie, you guys know.
Yes, we know your feelings.
Yes, we know.
Toward KK.
But anyways, it's getting late my end, so
I gotta go.
Everyone give Candy's live a massive thumbs up, and
yes,
as always, thank you two for your banter and your commentary, much appreciated.
Yes.
And
thanks,
I'm
Candy,
glad I made
for
you
letting
laugh.
us chat.
Of course,
I'm glad I made you two laugh.
I had to literally put myself on mute because I could not stop. I was like, all right.
Best. Yeah, we'll be doing Beverly Hills, Mariah, and that Nick Vile podcast. Yes. I'm gonna work on that this weekend, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah. All right, bye guys. Thanks again.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you to Adam. Thank you to Natasha for holding me down. Shout out to my chat. Thank you, Irene. Happy birthday, the Court of Public Opinion. I appreciate you. Hey, Miss T. Thank you for being my mod. I appreciate you. What is up, Gloria? What is up, Irene? What is up, Aya the Alchemist? How are you? Chocolate Chunks. Thank you so much, Chocolate Chunks. I love you. Thank you for being a channel member, as always. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Priya. Everybody, Spectrums of Light. Thank you, Tay Tay the Savior. What is up, sweetheart? Thank you, everybody. If I missed you, I really sorry. But thank you, everybody. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps to grow the channel. It's a free way to support. If you want any courses or merch, check everything that's linked down below to join us. And I love you guys. Take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.